I'll let him run you through the new policy that's going to take off in October, right?
Yes.
The new
Even sooner
transport
than
policy. Sooner than that.
Yeah.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, people. It's actually been in the works for quite a while because I remember we had to suspend it to get all the stakeholders in the meeting. So, coming very soon, all transport, public commuter transport, and I say that again, public commuter transport from CMS all the way to Aja will take a new format. We will not allow individuals to run public transport anymore.
Okay, so I'm glad you're pausing, so we'll take it bit by bit. I need to explain this. So what it is now is you can no longer go and use your pension to buy a Tokumbo Danfo and put it on the road.
Yes.
You either have to be a company or a cooperative.
Yes.
So which means that to put it in Nigerian language, it's going to go corporate.
Corporate.
Benny.
And the minimum vehicles allowed in that corporation is 50.
Good.
50.
Fantastic.
Anything less than that, you're not going to get the license.
That's good. So now it's a business. It's not a charity. Yes.
It is a business. Secondly, on Lekki-Epe freeway,
yes,
we will not allow Danfos, Koropes, and anything smaller of that nature to run public transport.
Okay.
Nothing. It has to be high capacity buses or it's a no-go.
What's the minimum? I mean, the buses, minimum passengers. 50?
50.
Yes.
Also, that's not to say we are putting all the Koropes and minibuses out of business. You will just be limited to the outskirts of
going from Aja to Badore, and off the express.
Yeah, off the express. You will not be allowed to go on the express any longer.
People, I need to remind people that when I was born and brought from like a parcel from UK here, we had people who were in transport business. I remember we had Oshinawa Transport, we had Benson, we had another one called Charity, we had Elias.
Yes.
So we are back to that era now.
We're back to that.
Which is the way it should be, to be honest with you.
It's just entirely way too many transporters than is needed in this axis, and we are going to try it out. Now, having said that, we're not just going to allow everybody. Now, Lamata, which is the agency in charge of structuring our infrastructure and transport in Lagos State, has also mapped out, I believe it is 53 corridors within that axis that will be designated for various types of vehicles. So we will only give, now they've done a lot of studies in terms of how many buses we actually lead in certain areas. So when we hit that mark, that would be the.
So let's say you can only accommodate 100. That's it.
That's it.
You have to wait for one car to be knocked off the system.
Either that, or you go to another area that is needed of your services.
So are you going to have identifications for areas you can run?
I'm coming to that. Yes.
Okay. Good.
So, thirdly, all vehicles that ply this area will be clearly identified and marked, color-coded, so they are easy to identify and picked out from a whole bunch of people.
Now, is it the routes that will determine the color or the company?
No, both. Okay, so so the route will also be color-coded, and the company will also have identification mark to mark their buses in line with our our policy. Yeah.
Must the buses be air conditioned?
No, it's not a requirement.
No, I'm asking.
No, it is not a requirement.
It's not a requirement.
No,
so that's a marketing thing.
Yeah, that's a marketing.
Now, will there be competitive buses that Jimi, Disu and Sons and Sheriff Quadri and Daughters, there will be different?
Yeah, it is not.
Or you'd give one route to just one company?
No. It's a competitive market. You show your intent, and then we will license you accordingly. It is not limited to one company per se. Now, let me get one thing clear so that people don't get confused. If you have a bus that you use for commercial transport yourself, we are not saying you cannot do business anymore. We are saying you, singularly, cannot operate as an entity.
Yeah.
You have to either join a conglomerate that is already in existence, or you go and form
with
other
X
people.
number of people. Yes.
The minimum we are looking for is 50 vehicles in one entity. Point number 4, which is where I come in, or where we come in. Any vehicle, and I mean any vehicle that wants to ply from CMS all the way to Aja, will have to come for verification, as in vehicle inspection services will inspect your vehicle and make sure that it meets minimum standard
From CMS.
from CMS all the way to Aja.
So this new rule also applies from CMS to Aja.
That's what we consider Lagos Island,
Okay, Lagos Island, yes.
all the way to Aja.
So Danfos are gone in
Well,
that area.
If you don't meet the standard, you don't meet the standard.
Again, enforcement. What happens to those who violate the law on this?
Okay, so before, when we apprehend you, we just issue you a fine. We're not issuing you any more fines. It's a straight seizure.
You said that, not you. The government said that about cars who went one way. A lot of pressure, I'm sure, from politicians. Yes,
Well,
because I heard once something to the effect that even if the car was one of yours, in quotes, they'd seize the car and buy another one for him. Somebody said that somewhere, but that's another story for another day.
I don't
But
agree
that
with that.
enforcement, it's not on that. Well, yes.
Yes,
That enforcement now has gone out of the window. This one, is it for real?
it is for real.
Well, I will tell you the good thing is, I believe that the best thing to do in cases like this is to quickly hunt for examples.
Yes.
If you violate these laws, by the time it takes off, you heard Mr. Fashola, he says it is outright seizure.
It's a seizure.
So
It's
are you
not-
now going
it's
to
not-
auction the vehicles?
I don't know what they do with the vehicles. That's not my concern. My concern.
What is your concern?
My concern is I will take you off the road and put you where you need to be. So don't do it.
Where do you think they would need to be? No. Or they're going to go to prison?
No. So when we seize vehicles,
Yes.
I turn it over to the state government. Okay, so we don't keep them. I don't auction them. I have no business with that. So every vehicle that we seize that is impounded permanently, it is turned over to Ministry of Transportation for them for onward
So
processing.
if it is seized, there's no remedy to get it back.
Not from us.
Not from you.
Not from. You can go to the ministry and argue your case.
But I'm hearing rumors that the state plans to crush such vehicles.
We do. And
You send
we
them
will.
for crushing.
Yes.
It'd be nice for you to arrest somebody in a Rolls Royce and send it for crushing.
You know what?
To send home that point.
Let me say this. It is
Yeah.
not. It is not. People think it is government's intention to forcibly inconvenience the people. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't do it, we don't have a reason to do it. So, sometimes people test their limits. And
No, to be honest with you, I remember when the campaign came about seizing vehicles that go one way. I'm a very strong advocate for seizure and even crushing publicly. And if I were the governor, I'd look out for some luxury cars. When you crush one or two Rolls Royces, people will sit up. You can't run a community that is not disciplined. No matter how inconvenienced people think that they are.
I agree.
Yes.
So
we can quote you that you agree.
I agree.
Okay.
So what I am saying is, as far as the intent of the law is concerned, we will follow it to the letter.
To the letter.
And like I said, it's not just vehicle inspection service. LASMA is involved. The other enforcement agencies will be involved. Your vehicle, if you pass, will be clearly marked and identified. The routes in which you are supposed to be plying, the color will give you away, and hopefully everything will go as planned.
So what happens to the Agberos?
Well, the Agberos,
remember you need them during election.
You know what?
That's the reality. Somebody's already saying that Agbero boys should be discussed.
No, hold on a second. Okay,
Yes.
so it is a known fact that in Lagos State,
Yes.
that if you want to do public transport or commuter services, you have to join a union. That's something that's always been on ground. Now we've been in discussion with the union, and we've made some accommodations and adjustments. What we have agreed to is that they will no longer stand on the road to be collecting their dues.
But you know, it's not just the union, though.
No, those ones are masquerades. Okay.
Yes.
So the masquerades, we will take care of the masquerades. The union, we've been in discussion. It's not a secret. We've had open discussions with the union. We've had open discussions with participants in that sector. We've invited them all. Open town meeting. We've had discussions. We've heard their side. We've given them our own side. So everybody is in agreement. As a matter of fact, the deadline for submission for this venture is on the 14th of this month.
I don't understand what that means. Do you understand, Sheriff?
Yes. Like
So what does it mean?
individual transporters.
Yes.
Why are you doing my job?
I don't want to waste time.
Like individual transporters
Yes.
who can gather the number
Yes.
on the island
Yes.
to set up an
Yes,
entity
you can do
will now
50.
move to the mainland to go and do their business.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as they're
He's
licensed.
saying that it's going to be a nightmare.
It is already a nightmare, and this is one of the things that we will use to control it. So when I say in phases, okay, so in order to do this successfully, you can't just clamor the whole Lagos State into that one.
in one first swoop, yes.
First of all, you don't have enough personnel to do that, right? So you need to do it in batches. Let them go wherever they want to get. We will get to that and clean that area up too, as we do other areas.
Okay, but I'm sure you're already thinking of a second area, of a
Yeah.
second route.
Yes, that is up to Lamata.
And I need clarity on that date of the 14th. Does it mean that if later in the year I want to set up a company, I'd have to wait? I can't.
Okay, so let me give you clarity, just like you asked for it. So
yes.
the 14th of
Yes.
July is for those that are ready to take off now, right? So we don't want to keep waiting and postponing, because we've been on this for over a year.
But do you have some people shown interest?
Yes, they have. They've registered their interest. They've paid their fees. Some are in the process of showing those minimum standards that they must meet in order to qualify. But to set off, like you asked me earlier, so if after the 14th you want to still venture, you can openly,
And have the money.
you can as well go. You can come and make your intentions known.
Yes.
So,
Okay,
sir,
I thought as much. So it's endless, really.
It is not. We're not trying to hurry anybody. You can do your due diligence, as you rightfully said, and then come in. The game is always open. Transportation is a lifelong business. It never goes away. Everybody will always.
But people should note that there's going to be a limit.
Yes, there is a limit. Yeah, there's an upper limit.
You can't have 1,000 companies
No.
running 50 buses.
No.
No, that's not done anyway.